Improvement Commission, Thursday, June 11, 2015. Public hearing, item number 1, continued on a petition by R.G. Vanderweel Engineers LLP for the making of specific repairs within Summer Street, South Boston, located on its northeasterly side between addresses 266 and 274 Summer Street, and consisting of new private telecommunication conduit beneath the sidewalk. New business, April 30, 2015. Public hearing, May 14, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, Private Telecom Conduit, 266-274 Summer Street, South Boston, one sheet dated December 2014. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Eric Carlson with the Vanderweel.
Hey, good morning, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. Based on your suggestions at the public hearing, we have reached out to Verizon to see if it's feasible to run the cable, the IT cable, through their conduits. Verizon has asked for us to submit an application, which we're in the process of doing, and it will take them 3 to 5 months to determine if it is feasible or not. So we are asking for a continuance until September 17th, where we come back and report to you as to the status of that process.
Or would it be more practical to withdraw and then come back at a point? Because from an administrative process to keep track of this thing for 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, but the problem with the issue with that is we'd have to re-advertise and incur the burden of re-advertising.
You'd have to pay the ad fees twice.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing by R.J. Vanderweel Engineers for making specific repairs within Summer Street in South Boston to September 17th, 2015 at the request of the petitioner.
Second. All in favor? Aye. So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Thank you. Public hearing, item number 1, on a petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new, relocated, and removed pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, median islands, street lights, street trees, street furniture, landscaping, and stormwater drainage infrastructure. New business, May 28, 2015. Beacon Street, between Minor Street, Arundel Street, and the town of Brookline boundary at St. Mary's Street. Park Drive, generally between Buswell Street and Medfield Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, Beacon Street and Park Drive, Audubon Circle, Boston proper, 13 sheets dated April 9, 2015. Good morning.
Okay, thank you. I'm Charlotte Fleetwood with the Boston Transportation Department, and I'll just give a quick overview, and then I'll turn it over to Todd Unzies, who's our project manager, engineer in charge of the project. The Audubon Circle project is one of 3 priority projects that came out of a Kenmore Fenway Longwood Transportation Action Plan, and it's primarily a safety improvement project. The intersection of Beacon Street and Park Drive is a pedestrian crash hotspot, and it has higher than average motor vehicle crashes. There are a lot of bicyclists that travel down Beacon Street. There's only bike lanes along part of it. And what we're planning to do is to significantly tighten up the intersection by eliminating the slip lanes, creating shorter pedestrian crossings. There will be pedestrian islands at all 4 corners of Park Drive and Beacon Street, or pedestrian islands in the middle of the street to help pedestrians get across. We'll also have signal timing improvements, including leading pedestrian intervals, less waiting time for pedestrians, and we expect to see better compliance with the signals during crossings. We'll have controlled left turns. The highest category of crashes is with left turns, so we will have controlled left turns under this new design. And we will have green infrastructure as part of a Boston Water and Sewer green infrastructure stormwater demonstration project, as well as some placemaking, which the Audubon Circle Neighborhood Association will be maintaining the plantings and the benches and the light cap in the intersection. Since we met last time, there was a question about some of the grates in the sidewalk, so we have eliminated the grates from the design. We have a maintenance agreement for the planters, the benches, and the light cap. So I'll turn it over to Todd Unzies now.
Thank you.
Good morning. Todd Unzis, project engineer with HDR. So I'm going to talk briefly about the proposed project. We're proposing the reconstruction of a portion of Beacon Street between Brookline Town Line and Arundel Street, and a portion of Park Drive. Some of Park Drive south of Audubon Circle is under DCR jurisdiction. We will be permitting any improvements for that section through DCR. We've already reached out to them, and they're in agreement with the proposed project. From St. Mary's Street on the west end of the site, we're proposing to increase the sidewalks. We're adding, we're changing the curb alignment, adding some permeable pavers as shown. In the circle itself, we've got the four quadrants where we're proposing ornamental planter areas. Three of the quadrants, northwest, northeast, and southeast, will also be equipped with rain gardens. As was previously mentioned, we had some sidewalk grading proposed as a kind of a visual effect for the stormwater that's going to help to be directed to the rain garden. Sidewalk grading is gone. The stormwater will simply be collected with curbside catch basins piped into the rain garden. Those catch basins will be standard Boston Water and Sewer Type 5 catch basins. Leaving the circle heading east, again, we're proposing some curb realignment. We're widening the sidewalks. We're removing some of the existing center median islands, replacing them with smaller islands. All this will be shown on the 100% plans, which will be submitted for review by the various departments. In addition, we're proposing all new street lighting. The street lighting design has been reviewed and approved by the Boston Street Lighting Division. So the eastern limit of the project is at Minor Arundel Street. For the entire project corridor, all pedestrian ramps will be new, all ADA compliant. We're proposing all new additional street trees. A few of the existing street trees will be saved as part of the project. Those trees were approved as have already been approved as during permitting, and they are identified on the plan to be protected. The new traffic signals at Audubon Circle will allow for increased pedestrian safety, increased bicycle flow, and will also provide increased vehicular safety as well. And again, here's Park Drive, south of the circle. The limit of City of Boston and DCR property is shown. Everything south on DCR property will be permitted and approved through DCR. Other than that, I'm certainly open to any, happy to answer any questions you might have.
You just wanted to go over some of the approvals. Obviously, there's MBTA entrances and tunnels out there. Has the MBTA been notified?
We have an MBTA order of conditions right now, and they issued those order conditions several months ago. We've reviewed them. We have no issues with them, so we believe we're all set with that. We've also got approval from DCR for the proposed roadway sidewalk improvements on that property as well.
All right, city departments, Parks Department approved, just, can you go over some of the approvals from the city? You've obviously got.
Well, so far, for the PIC process itself, all the applicable departments have issued their tacit approval strictly for the PIC. And again, we are at the 75% design, moving forward with 100% design. We have comments from Public Works, and those will be addressed in the 100% design, as well as Boston Water and Sewer will be reviewing the 100% design as well.
We have comments from Parks and then a sign off from Parks on the design, as well as the fire department.
And was there a neighborhood,
The former coordinator for this area for the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services says that it's gone through a very extensive neighborhood review process, and this is kind of the result of, they're very happy with this.
We have some representatives from the neighborhood here today.
Thank you.
Charlotte, so, the design funds for this is from a state or a federal earmark?
It's a state earmark.
State earmark,
Yes.
from a state bond bill or just a state?
I think it was called an Economic Investment Act.
For construction, Charlotte, is it also from the, are there any federal funds involved with the earmark at all?
I would have to check on that. It came directly from the state. I don't know if they got some federal funds.
Thought for any right, because I'm going to assume Public Works is going to be, the city is going to be advertising this project construction, and my memory doesn't serve me well, but I believe the funds are the funds sitting with the city right now, or
Yes.
funds are sitting with the city? So for the city to advertise this thing for construction, do we have the necessary approvals from both DCR, especially since some of the work is being shown on DCR property? I know you said that there has been some dialogue, but
Yes, I believe we do, yes.
No, we don't actually have the permit, but we've had many meetings with them and we came to an agreement, and we're just waiting to get the permit. But
awesome. So the design funds, Charlotte, will, I know there was a clock ticking on the expiration of the design funds, just for the record, that clock stops ticking roughly.
yeah, at this point, the design funds, the contract that we have with the state for design expires a year from June 30th.
And the construction the construction funds are separate.
The construction funds are separate, yes, and I'm pretty sure they expire June 2018. I can confirm that.
So it is, since PIC is approving plans and improvements on properties that are not within city limits, actually we don't get to approve, even though it shows on the plans. So coordination needs to be solidified with DCR so that the scope of work doesn't get into a situation a few months down the road. So
Yes.
we can work those details out, because it will be awkward for awkwardness in the future.
Again, this is a highly awaited project. It deals quite nicely with the mayor's initiative with the Vision Zero safety proposal and plans, and this is a great opportunity to provide that safety for all modals, bikes, pedestrians, vehicles. Great project.
I'll set with this, sir.
This time, any of the members of the audience that would like to make up comment or can come up to the microphone?
Good morning, members of the commission. Ken Ryan with Boston University. Very happy to hear about the improvements that are going to be made. We obviously just want to make sure we're taking into consideration, depending on when the construction of this does happen, particularly with our move-in weekend. It's a heavy traffic area during that time. Normally begins around, or this year will begin around Wednesday, August 26th, with the first day of classes being Wednesday, September 2nd. So just want to make sure we're keeping that in mind, and obviously keeping the lines of communication open when this goes forward. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for making specific repairs in Beacon Street and Park Drive as described and read into the record by the Chair, as shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repair plans for Beacon Street and Park Drive, noted in Audubon Circle. The 13 sheets are dated April 9th, 2015.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 2 on a petition by SCD 1350 Boylston Street LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in Boston proper. New business, May 14, 2015. Boylston Street on its southerly side generally east of Kilmarnock Street. Kilmarnock Street on its easterly side generally south of Boylston Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Pedestrian Easement Plan, Boylston Street, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, 2 sheets dated April 21, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Steve Materano. I'm with the Bowler Engineering Company. I'm here with Mark McGowan from Skanska Development. We were here for the new business session and went through some concerns that we heard from the commission. And subsequent to that, we had a staff level meeting coordinated by PIC staff, Public Works staff, and had Boston Transportation, some input from disabilities, and folks from the BRA as well. So we ran through what those issues were, and just to give you an overview again of the project, it's 1350 Boylston Street. It's the existing Burger King site on Boylston Street. The issues or the items up for discussion today are improvements along Boylston Street. We have some improvements on Kilmarnock, and then there's also an easement to widen the sidewalk area along Boylston Street. So what we have and what we heard for concerns were, I'll just run through the revisions. So one of the concerns we heard was the uplights and receptacles. So there was some reference in a very early version of Boylston Master Plan street improvements that had references to uplights and receptacles and things of that nature. We, subsequent to that, we've heard that there's some concerns around that from Boston Lighting about stray voltage, and some other concerns about how those pieces would be controlled and monitored. We didn't hear from the staff of the various departments that it was necessarily part of the vision for how Boylston Street should be developed. So for now, we've taken those items out. So we will not be putting receptacles and we will not be putting uplights at this time. The light poles that Boston Light does require us to install to be consistent with Boylston Street do have receptacles up the top of the light. So they are in a controlled manner, but they are there to have the ability to put festive lights at holiday times. There's 2 light poles along Kilmarnock Street that were relocated per Boston Lighting and Disabilities comments. So one was located.
Can I hold you just for 1 second?
Sure.
Can we just, we're on the agenda item number 2, which is for the easement. So why don't we get rid of the easement and then we'll go into specific repairs?
Oh, sure.
I got to pull out a separate set of drawings.
Absolutely. So for the easement, we have a 5-foot wide easement along Boylston Street, and what that does is it allows us to get the full 8-foot wide pedestrian path, and we'll talk about that a little bit more during the specific repairs conversation. But so that's it. It's 5 foot the entire length of Boylston, and then we do have a smaller easement along Kilmarnock for similar purposes to provide an adequate sidewalk width.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm all set.
We just received copy of the TAPA site plan. We have engineers reviewing both the traffic signalization and the proposed parking restrictions. That was just received 2 days ago. The plan does not reflect any of the signal locations that could potentially be in conflict with the ramps, et cetera. So that's something that we need to work with the project on to bring those up to speed. So we're still under review as of 2 days ago.
Would any of those impact the size or the width of the easement, the pedestrian easement?
I mean, potentially, based on any relocation of traffic signal poles.
So as long as the petitioner recognizes the fact that the easement may have to be adjusted at a later point in time?
Acknowledged, yes.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, contingent on the review of the TAPA plan by the Transportation Authority, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of SCD 1350 Boylston Street LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements in Boylston Street and Kilmarnock Street, all as shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Pedestrian Easement Plan, Boylston Street, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, 2 sheets dated April 21st, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 3, on a petition by SCD 1350 Boylston Street LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, streetlights, street trees, street furniture, electrical conduit, drainage infrastructure, irrigation infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. New business, May 14, 2015. Boylston Street on its southerly side, generally east of Kilmarnock Street. Kilmarnock Street on its easterly side, generally south of Boylston Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan 1350 Boylston Street, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, 3 sheets dated April 29, 2015. Good morning again, Steve.
Good morning. So just to recap what we're doing, I'll start again with the improvements. So we heard the concerns about the receptacles and the uplights, and we have removed those from the plans. There's a couple of 2 light poles on Kilmarnock Street that were relocated 4 or 5 feet per comments from Boston Lighting. One was to get it out of the wing of one of the proposed accessible ramps. So we'll relocate that light, and the other light was just to move it 5 or 6 feet outside of our proposed driveway location. So those 2 light relocations are shown in these plans. We heard here from this commission as well as from staff that there was an interest in not having additional bump-ins for drop-off purposes. So what we've done is we've taken that. There was a bump out right in front of the building previously shown, and we've carried just the straight.
Can you explain the curbside use there? What you plan to do with this new large, because the comment was that we don't like private bump-ins, and instead of moving the one you have to match the one that's adjacent to it, you've just made a much larger bump-in. So the comment was that we don't like to see bump-ins for just a private use, and now we just have an enormous bump-in. So is this all for this condo?
Okay, so I think it's 2 different things. So just to go over what the previous plan was, the curb line came along in this area and then bumped in further for a drop-off area here and then came back out. So it was a undulating curb line. So what we took away from the, again, I'm going to make reference to a 24.5% design set of a master plan for street improvements along Boylston Street. What they had called for were enlarging these areas at the corner to provide pocket parks, but also to shorten the crossings for the pedestrians across Boylston. So we've kept that component in the design is to at least build that curb line the way they foresee that curb line going in the future. So we'll get the pocket park constructed now, and we'll shorten that pedestrian crossing now as part of our project, rather than coming back after when the Boylston improvements get to a further point and have them have to take out what we've done and have it be part of the city improvement project. So we're just trying to do what we can at this point and working towards that at least very preliminary vision and master plan. But we think shortening that pedestrian crossing is something that is a benefit today. And then this continues on with the existing curb line on Boylston Street.
Right, and at the meeting, what was discussed was the elimination of your bump-in its entirety. And we received pushback from you, and then the desire was to move that bump-in to match with the health center, so there would be only one bump-in at the health center, not to make the bump-in 3 times as large.
That's miscoding. Sir, if I may,
Yes.
the bump out which you have shown, is it at a stoplight or a pedestrian crossing path?
Yes.
Good. So technically, you will have a controlled situation for a pedestrian to cross the street. You're concerned about pedestrian safety and shortening. A crossing is more in line with the unsignalized crosswalk. That's point 1. Point 2, is this a snow arterial, meaning during a snow emergency, is this a major arterial?
Yes.
Yes,
I
yes.
believe so.
Okay.
Yep.
Third, this is right next to the Fenway, the ballpark. As much as the Boylston Street Master Plan has a certain desire to build a certain character, I strongly am of concern about having any type of a bump out for this corridor, because during a snow emergency, are you going to be keeping cars parked in that full length where you have the notch? No, I think the answer is no. At which point, how is a snow operator going to plow that area? It's going to be difficult. So I believe that the city's desire, and if the city is going to rebuild Boylston Street at a point in time in the future, we will do what needs to happen. But I think systematically throughout that whole corridor, this is not the first project on Boylston. There are various other projects that have built their front door, and I don't think there's a single bump out. Am I mistaken, or is yours is not the first project, right?
Correct.
There's at least about 6 or 7, I may be wrong, quite a few, maybe a handful of other projects that has built their, what I call the curb space from the edge line to their property line. And if my memory serves me correctly, there isn't a single other bump out. So I'm a little bit puzzled as to
So
what you...
it's more that this bump out should be the curb line going down in front of their property, and there shouldn't be a bump in at all. It should be a widened sidewalk, and they showed a bump in for their own private pickup drop-off, and we received, they said that was part of the Boylston Master Plan. We had a meeting, Transportation said that it was not, and that it should be removed. And they said that their option was to move it, slide it down to the health center where there actually is a bump in, so that we would be extending one that exists today rather than extending it for the entire width of the property, was the discussion that was
I
had.
think Mark McGowan with Skanska, I think we do need to clarify what we're trying to do. We're not trying to create a bump out or a bump in. We were responding to what we felt, or what we were under the impression that the city wanted to see. So whether we have a straight curb or not, we were trying to accommodate what we thought the city was desiring. There is no bump in.
Okay, so something is lost in the translation, and
Yes.
since I was not at the meeting, I will take full responsibility for it. It's easy for me to do that.
Okay.
So the question becomes, right now you are showing a set of plans that are supposed to be voted at this hearing that is not consistent with the city's desires. So what are our choices, Ms. Corning?
Continue.
Would a continuance of 2 weeks be a hardship to your project for the specific repair part of it, since you do have the easement?
We want to get it right, so
I think that would
we'll do whatever your desire is. With respect to the bump in, I just want to clarify, there is no bump in shown. The curb line is consistent with our neighbors to the west there. So there is no bump in, no special
No,
elongated.
but the Transportation Department clarified that there was not going to be parking here, and you've now made a much larger parking area.
I don't think, one of the things is that, this is what I was talking about earlier, we haven't had that meeting to discuss what the curbside regulation, that was one of our comments, back through the TAPA, But that's a negotiation right now. That's why I think maybe a continuance is probably in order that basically we nail that down so everybody's on the same page. And I apologize if there was a communication issue there, so.
So you'll be okay with the 2-week continuance and recognize the fact that during a snow emergency, all the cars needs to disappear. And if I'm the snow plow driver, I want to see a very straight edge lines. So that way I'm not going to ram my snow plow into unexpected. Okay, so I'm very confident that the team can pull that thing together.
The commission just so I can get it off my chest, we've just been trying to do what the city wants, right? So the fact that we're here now, it's a little embarrassing for us. We thought this was fully vetted.
My apologies.
So.
Okay, so thank you.
Just so I could be clear, I thought I heard two different curb lines talked about. Are we talking about just bringing this curb line back to where it is today?
No.
Is that the?
It needs to match whatever is, and this is not the appropriate source for us to do homework.
No, I heard two different things
we can
here
put the
today.
necessary people together and have a conversation so that the two abutting properties, the curb line is consistent.
Absolutely.
Right.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing under public hearing number 3 today regarding specific repairs for 1350 Boylston Street for 2 weeks to
June 25th.
June 25th, 2015.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 4, on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the approval of the line and grade of Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury, between Washington Street and Bartlett Street. New business, May 28, 2015, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Line and Grade, Bartlett Station Drive, Public Way, Roxbury. 3 sheets dated May 20, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Linhart. I'm with Goulston and Stores here as counsel for the proponent. And we received helpful comments 2 weeks ago, and we're still sorting through some of those comments. So we'd actually like to request a continuance for this. And in fact, we're here for 4 public hearings and for the next 3 as well.
How long?
For 4 weeks, if possible.
July 9th?
July 9th, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to continue this until July 9th.
I'll make a motion to approve the Bartlett Place Land Inc. Line and grade for Bartlett Street, Bartlett Station Drive, to continue it for 4 weeks till July 9th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Continuing down, public item hearing number 5, on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Washington Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located on its northwesterly side between Bartlett Street and Guild Street. New business, May 28, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Widening and Relocation, Washington Street, Public Way, Roxbury, 1 sheet dated May 20, 2015. Morning, David.
Commissioners. Here with Goulston and Stores Council on behalf of the proponent. And thank you for helpful comments. 2 weeks ago, we'd be interested to continue till July 9.
I'll entertain a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing number 5 on today's agenda concerning the widening and relocation of Washington Street through July 9, 2015.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Public hearing item number 6, on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Bartlett Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located on its southwesterly side, generally between Washington Street and Bonnell Terrace. New business, May 28, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Widening and Relocation, Bartlett Street, Public Way, Roxbury, 1 sheet dated May 20, 2015.
Thank you, Commissioners. David Linhart, Goulston and Stores Council for the proponent. to be able to work through comments we received 2 weeks ago, we'd like to continue until July 9.
I'll entertain that motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue the agenda item number 6 for the widening relocation of Bartlett Street until July 9, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Lastly, public item number 7, on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Incorporated for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk, and roadway reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, streetlights, street trees, drainage infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. New business, May 28, 2015. Washington Street on its northwesterly side between Bartlett Street and Guild Street. Bartlett Street on its southwesterly side, generally between Washington Street and Bonnell Terrace. Guild Street on its northeasterly side between Washington Street and Thornton Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston, Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, Washington, Guild, and Bartlett Streets, Roxbury. 4 sheets dated May 20, 2015.
Thank you, Commissioners. David Linhart, Wilson Stores, proponent, counsel for the proponent. And to be able to work through comments that we received 2 weeks ago, we'd like to continue for 4 weeks.
Great. I'll entertain a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue item number 7 on today's agenda under public hearings for specific repairs for Washington Street, Bartlett Street, and Guild Street to July 9th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
All right. See you on the 9th. Public hearing item number 8, on a petition by Tremont on the Commons condominium for the making of specific repairs within Tremont Street, Boston proper, located on its southeasterly side, generally between Avery Street and West Street, and consisting of curb realignment, as well as sidewalk and specialty pavement reconstruction. New business, May 28, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, 151 Tremont Street, Boston, 1 sheet dated May 8, 2015.
Good morning, Jared Eigerman. With me is Carl Damitz. We were here on new business just 2 weeks ago. I don't think there are any changes from last time, but Carl can point out the highlights.
So what we're proposing is part of projection license as well. And the changes are certainly tied to the proposed canopy that we're going to be putting in. The changes are to deal with some drainage issues and to allow for the proposed canopy to project entirely over the sidewalk and not into any of the street. So we're proposing to move the existing curb to match that, to shift it over to create a wider sidewalk area at the entry. That material will be matched. There's some existing granite paving at that area. A small amount of that will be matched, in line with the existing. The remaining amount of sidewalk area that will be added will be concrete to match existing, and then this curb also to match existing. We're proposing cutting into the street a bit to regrade that area to deal with some existing drainage areas that weren't addressed properly when this original curb cut was done.
So, is your client maintaining those granite pavers right now?
That's my understanding, yes.
Since they are adding additional pavers, is that maintenance agreement supplemented?
It doesn't need to be because it just describes the granite pavers and the extents. So adding new pavers in there, it's already captured by the existing agreement.
John, do we have a copy of the maintenance agreement?
Yes,
Because,
yes.
okay, we do.
I didn't pick this up the last time, but you got an abandoned gas line that's right along the curb line, the new curb line. It says C note 4. There's no note 4.
You're referring to gas lines that are in the street?
Yeah, it's an abandoned gas line right along the curb line, the new curb line.
Okay.
And it says C note 4.
We only have 2 notes.
That's right.
I also did not pick that up. Apologize.
Can we add note 4 before we issue the permit?
Yes. And this has been reviewed by the private utilities as well, so.
Is there a note 3?
There is no note 3.
No note 3.
So just,
Make one up.
just the drawing so that it reflects note 3 and not note 4, and put a note 3.
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Tremont on the Commons condominium for the making of specific repairs within Tremont Street, Boston proper. All are shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, 151 Tremont Street, Boston, one sheet dated May 8th, 2015, with a small revision to be submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 9, on a petition by Tremont on the Commons condominium for the granting of a projection license for the installation of a canopy over the portion of the sidewalk within Tremont Street, Boston proper, located on its southeasterly side, generally between Avery Street and West Street. New business, May 28, 2015. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, License Plan, 151 Tremont Street, Boston, one sheet, dated May 8, 2015. Morning again, Carl.
Hi, Jared Eigenman again. Carl, anything on the canopy that we need to call out?
Yeah, no changes since 2 weeks ago. Again, this is the awning that will be removed, and to replace that, this glass and steel canopy, again, with the shifting of the sidewalk to accommodate the overhang that we're proposing.
So the previous awning canopy which you're planning on removing, was that sanctioned by the Public Improvement Commission, or was it completely within your private property?
Don't know. It certainly is in the public way. I didn't find any evidence of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was good. I mean, we vetted this prior to the first hearing that we had, and based on what we have existing, what we're replacing, and based on the height of it, I think we're all set with it. It's internally drained. It should be a great improvement for the building.
Just on, when you were applying for the permits for both the excavation and occupancy, your contractor needs to develop a traffic management plan, construction management plan of how he's going to deal with the pedestrians, vehicular traffic, so that it's safe, and submit it to the department prior to issuance of permit.
So just to clarify, a TAPA, full-blown TAPA will be necessary?
No, this is your regular permit for your contractor to go and occupy the public way and/or excavate the public way. He'll be required to have a traffic management plan that shows what his plan is for pedestrians, vehicular traffic, and safety in general.
Okay.
Okay?
Again, any members of the audience have any comments or questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of Tremont on the Commons condominium for the granting of a projection license for the installation of a canopy over a portion of the sidewalk on Tremont Street, all shown on plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, license plans for 151 Tremont Street, Boston, one sheet dated May 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Public hearing item number 10, on a joint petition by Harvard College and the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs within Everett Street, Brighton, located between North Beacon Street and Western Avenue, and consisting of curb, sidewalk, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated street trees, street lighting infrastructure, and stormwater management infrastructure. New business, May 28, 2015, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, Everett Street, Brighton, 10 sheets dated May 26, 2015. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Commissioner. William Egan from the Public Works Department, Chief Civil Engineer, and
Jeffrey Alexis, Senior Civil Engineer, Public Works Department.
Jeffrey put together a lot of the design drawings as well as the Public Improvement Commission drawings that are submitted here today for final approval. 2 weeks ago, we came before the Public Improvement Commission to discuss this project, which consists of the reconstruction of Everett Street between North Beacon and Western Avenue. Since that time, we have made the final coordination with the utility companies and made some adjustments to the plans to ensure that there's coordination and minimizing impacts during construction. Harvard University or Harvard College has signed the petition. And one last item of business, Commissioner, you would mention about some additional construction or some repair to the northerly intersection of Everett Street, the old alignment with the new. And the last time you were there, you mentioned there were Jersey barriers. We did make those repairs a while ago, so that is a complete new construction and is there in place. And also, I just would like to reiterate the old alignment of Everett Street before the turnpike was constructed is goes down and dead ends or makes a turn there when you get to the turnpike. On that length of a strip of roadway there, we are also doing sidewalk improvements. So on both sides of the turnpike. So in addition to the main line, Everett, which goes over the turnpike, those little extensions, they're having some reconstruction as well.
To Franklin and Braintree Streets. That's great. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And that's it for discussion.
We coordinated the design on this. I brought it up new business that we do have a water replacement project that's going to be starting next spring on the same street. It shouldn't interfere with each other. It's not the whole street, it's a portion of it, but we have coordinated and we're both well aware of what each other are doing. So it should be all set.
Right, and the other coordination that we had done, National Grid was another utility company that had some comments and questions in the last 2 weeks.
On the review of the traffic signals, Don Burgess, Wilson, that they reached out to them on
Yes. Okay. We've had a number of discussions on this traffic.
Just one other thing, if you could forward me the special provisions and traffic management plans as they relate to conversations that we've had.
Sure.
Thanks.
Is the project looking at Pipeline Zero?
This project here does not include the repaving of the roadway. After the sidewalk work is done, Water and Sewer has a project, and then afterwards we'll go in and do a final mill and overlay, but it's not part of this project. But there is a discussion about bike accommodations. A striping plan for the future paving has been submitted to BTD and is under review. It's a very narrow street. It's a 26-foot curb to curb, so there's some discussions on exactly what it will be. Will it be sharrows on both sides, or one side will have sharrows, one side will be a bike lane? It hasn't been decided yet.
Any members of the audience have any comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the joint petition by Harvard College and the City of Boston Public Works Department for making specific repairs within Everett Street in Brighton, as described and read into the record by the chair, shown on the settled plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repairs plan for Everett Street, and the 10 sheets are dated May 26, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, gentlemen. First item of new business, Columbia Road, Stoughton Street, Dorchester, granted location, amended granted location on a set of petitions by Crown Castle NG East LLC.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bob Albee with VHB, representing Crown Castle, and we're petitioning today for a relocated node that was previously installed some years back. Richard Shepard from Crown Castle is going to explain the detail on it.
Good morning, Commissioners. The revitalization of Upram's Corner removed an existing street light that we had equipment on. This location here that's marked. So we took the light down, and the light's been out. The node's been out of commission since that time. A new location was selected and reviewed by Street Lighting and approved. And the new location is down here. What has occurred in the meantime is that this location, because of timing, we worked with DPW to accelerate the actual building of this pipe. And in an agreement with engineering, we, since it was going to be ahead of the notification process, which we have since completed, we actually added an additional duct that would be used just in case someone came back and wanted to participate in the petition. We didn't receive in the end any petitioners, but just for full disclosure, this pipe is all installed. Is there any questions on the conduit piece?
Amy, are they chatting with both Katie Cho or Zach?
Right, so that's why we have construction in the ground as to not interfere with Upham's Corner.
At the new location which they are, I know street lighting said that's fine.
Right,
but-
so Katie has approved that new streetlight location, and then once we had the streetlight location, these guys attached their antenna to it. So the pole was what was coordinated through Katie's department, and they're just attaching after we figured out where our poles are gonna be.
So we can talk about the light itself. It's actually an existing light, and in your handouts I have some photos of the existing location. We're going to reuse the old pole, and that pole that's there now is going to come down, and we're setting right next to it, adjacent to it, and we're just going to have the same equipment that was on the old pole. Are there any questions?
As far as the construction management, traffic management discussions, obviously I haven't had anything with you. What are you doing with Public Works and Mario Susi and National Grid that's out there right now? What conversation have taken place?
So for the actual setting of the pole, or
for your conduit work and pole?
The conduit work has been completed, and we had full set of traffic management plans that were approved by traffic, and we were granted permits, and then it went through the normal course. It was in an effort to get ahead of the the finalization of
I
the
just don't
curbs.
remember reviewing those, but that's all right.
So is there a city shadow installed?
Absolutely. Actually, there's two city shadows because we wanted to, if there was going to be a participant, we wanted to, just in case, but after the notification process, there wasn't any participants.
All right, so can we just show that on ASBIL? Yeah.
Will 2 weeks be enough time? Okay, we'll see you on June 25th for a public hearing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard. Second item of new business, Yawkey Way, Van Ness Street, Boston proper. Specific repairs on a petition by Old Town Team Realty LLC.
Good morning. I am Dennis Quilty. I'm an attorney at Dennis Quilty Miller representing Old Town Team Realty LLC, which is the real estate arm of Boston Red Sox. With me from the Beta Group, Mike Burley and Kelly Carr. And as a preliminary matter, I would suggest that this is a similar request to one which was made in 2014 for the placement of ornamental safety bollards around the various gates of Fenway Park. And this was done in conjunction with the request by Major League Baseball of basically all the parks around the country for safety purposes, so these large open gates can be closed off from nefarious activities, if you will. So this would be exactly alike to those which were approved for Lansdowne Street in 2014. And this would be Gate D, which is Yawkey Way at the corner of Van Ness Street.
Good morning. This is our annual visit with you. This is the fourth gate at around Fenway Park that we're providing this type of installation. It's 19 bollards that are going to go along the sidewalk exactly the way they have on 3 other locations. The installation, the contractor, the bollards, it's all identical. And I have a photoshopped document I can hand you. We'll certainly include it in our package if we're invited back here soon. But at this time, we're just asking for your courtesy of a notice to proceed.
My only comment would be that there is a new ONS coordinator for that area. Just make sure that the process is followed through the same way that the previous 3.
I was just informed this morning,
Right.
perhaps by the time we return,
Right.
person to be named. So
Yes,
we'll make sure
so
we-
just, Ms. Osberg has moved on, so just, I know the public outreach is very good, so I appreciate that.
There's 4 or 5 bollards that are in front of Gate D. All right, and typically what we do in front of the gates is we have them installed as removable bollards.
Yes.
So have we made accommodations for that?
Yes.
This design?
Yes, absolutely. They're all, everyone that you've asked for to be removable is removable.
So it's not shown on this drawing, but so for the gates that are in front of.
Actually,
the
the front
bollards
of the
that-
gate itself.
Yeah,
Is that
well, the gate is here, and right now, we haven't planned on any removable bollards for this installation, but if there's something that you'd like it
This
to be.
one's not crossing a gate entrance. So
I got Gate D on,
It actually stops just shy.
It stops short of the roll-up door.
It's protecting what's really the media entry, if you will. It's like the large stairwell and
the prior approvals, anything that has space for a vehicular entrance has a removable bollard.
But for all practical purposes, if a vehicle do need to get on that sidewalk, they will go through our ramp. Is that correct, as that photograph shows?
The handicap ramp?
the
Yes.
ramp is shown on
Yeah.
the bottom.
And isn't that what we're trying to preclude for public safety and, is not to have vehicles or trucks?
Correct, but in the past, it's been basically to allow fire department access. We have removables wherever requested.
all right.
But I'm
Yeah,
talking about
ambulances.
precluding vehicles from getting into that proximity. That's
Yeah.
what the intent of
That's what the
Homeland
intent-
Security is.
Correct.
And as your picture shows, with a vehicle up against the ballpark, that's what we want to preclude with this installation. This doesn't seem to do that as articulated by your picture.
What's the distance between the 2 bollards at the handicap?
The 2 at the ramp.
Yeah.
That's probably not the best picture to be shown.
Yeah, we've noted your remarks, and we'll approve this picture.
Thank you, Dennis. Just adjust it so that it doesn't become a point of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 8 feet between those 2 bollards, so.
Catherine, you're okay with?
But one of the things is that the handicap ramp's one thing, but it's open, there's 2 driveways on either end that you can get into.
Yes.
Yeah, from the other sides, yes. So,
So the intent of this was from Homeland Security and,
to keep a car that would be coming from Boylston down Yawkey Way to,
either Van Ness, Yaki, correct.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So you might want to take a look at that.
Okay. All right. Will 2 weeks be enough time?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. We'll also see you on June 25th for a public hearing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Third item of new business, 100 Pier 4 Boulevard, South Boston, Sidewalk Cafe, on a petition by CMR Prime LLC. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Attorney Nick Zazula from McDermott, Quilty & Miller here in Boston. With me today is Lisa Chow from VHB. They are the engineers in the project. I'd like to thank Amy and Todd for their help so far. Look forward to working with them and Chong as well to finalize this aspect of the project. If I may just give you a little bit of brief background. The petitioner is CMR Prime LLC. They are bringing a proposed restaurant to be located at 100 Pier 4 in the Seaport District. It's right off of Seaport Boulevard in front of the Institute of Contemporary Art and next to the Seaport World Trade Center. Their overall company owns and operates about 25 restaurants in the United States. This will be their first restaurant here in Massachusetts. It is a proposed seafood, steak, cocktail, high-end restaurant. They've also recently received approval from the City of Boston Licensing Board for the transfer of an all-alcohol license. That is with the state now for review. Their liquor license description will include this outdoor patio and sidewalk cafe that was approved as well on public property, which is why we are here in front of you today. As far as the outdoor patio, I'll give you a brief overview and then I'll let Lisa go over some more of the details. It's proposed to accommodate 25 patrons, approximately 331 square feet of seating area, 369 square feet including the planter space. 157 square feet of that is located on public property, 212 square feet is located on private property. The outdoor patio is situated just adjacent to the left of the main entrance. They are in the process of fully building out the interior restaurant space. They hope to open late fall, early winter. So as a result, this sidewalk cafe actually won't be used until next season. They will miss this season of the sidewalk cafe patio. They would begin to use it next season, April of next year. With that, I'll let Lisa go over some more of the plans and take your questions.
Actually, before Ms. Chow does that, since this is a high-end restaurant, do you anticipate any valet service for this?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so, but we can find that answer for you before.
Because if such services are needed, this may not be the best place for you to have valet service because it is at a very critical intersection. So when we put a sidewalk cafe, one may necessarily assume that you can get all the other sources, but just be mindful that it's a challenging intersection.
We could get that answer for you for the next hearing and get some more information.
So, Lisa.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Lisa Chow, project engineer for VHB. As Nick mentioned earlier, Cameron Mitchell Restaurant would like to request the approval of an installation sidewalk cafe at 100 Pier 4 Boulevard for 25 patrons. The proposed cafe, located along Pier 4 Boulevard, will contain 7 tables, 25 seats, of which 2 seats will be accessible, patio umbrella, and a servicing station. The accessible seats are located metal railings and a planter will be installed as a barricade to separate the seating area from the public sidewalk. Once the cafe is installed, the sidewalk width between the edge of the planters and the existing tree grate will be approximately 9.8 feet at the pinch point. We've sent out engineering plans and an engineering report to utility companies and public agencies as part of the PIC notification processes. We've coordinated and received responses from the following agencies, including ISD, Boston Water and Sewer, Street Lighting, Boston Parks and Rec, Neighborhood Services, and the BRA. We've also met with and coordinated with the Commission for Persons with Disabilities regarding access concerns. The coordinated effort is reflected on the plan shown before you. Does the Commission have any questions at this time?
Yeah, proposed canopy, that's not part of this request.
I'm sorry, can you repeat? The canopy, no, it does not project into the public right-of-way.
No, but it's not part of this request now. It's on the drawings now. I don't think it was on the drawings before.
Oh, no, it's not part of this request.
Remove it from the drawings.
Okay.
Just don't
Okay.
reference it.
All right, and the other thing is just have this stamp before we issue. Okay.
Just one thing, as part of the guidelines, I believe the new guidelines, you need to submit a level of service, pedestrian level of service, showing the sidewalk level of service based on the taking.
So in this particular scenario, their cafe is falling within a PED easement. So it's not actually within what we consider our contiguous sidewalk. We can still have a level of service.
Still want to have it for the file.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes. To further what Mr. Hesford is saying, the whole idea is for your sidewalk cafe to coexist with the pedestrian volume that is there, and you need to recognize that any point in the future, if the city feels that your sidewalk cafe needs to be resized due to the pedestrian needs, that has been properly acknowledged. So this is the starting point. So thank you.
Nick, will 2 weeks be enough time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then we'll see you as well for a public hearing on June 25th. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Fourth item of new business, 10 Oxford Street, Boston proper. Specific repairs, projection license on a set of petitions by the Chinese Economic Development Council.
Good morning. My name is Francis Kerwin. I'm an architect with Chiang Zi Architect. We're here to present 2 issues. One is a canopy that was part of the design review process of the BRA, and the second is bollards to protect that canopy, since trucks unloading on Oxford Street tend to pull up on the sidewalks, and there'd be fear of them hitting the canopy. I apologize for not bringing an illustration board that you could all look at. I wasn't aware that that was part of the process.
There are existing bollards up and downstream that, so this is just kind of in line with what's already going on Oxford Street.
So Catherine, it's sort of grandfathered the limitations.
Well, and there's also, these are in line with our streetlights. So this is not making any pinch point worse.
You have all design, are they similar on the street, or are they?
I'm sorry?
The existing bollards that are out there, is the proposed bollards, that they're going to be using the same as what's out on the street already?
I believe they're a little bit broader than what we were going to provide. We could certainly match them if that's the desire.
Well, are they straight set up? There's no design on them?
No, it's a pipe cylinder that's filled with concrete and a half cylinder cap.
No, this is fine.
Again, will 2 weeks be enough time?
That'd be fine.
Okay, we will see you on June 25th for our public hearing.
Very good.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
For other business, can I just address the board for 1 second?
Sure, yes.
We had a meeting yesterday with the law department, Mike Lynch, and RCN. And over the telephone, Eversource was present. We discussed old agreements between the city and PIC for fiber optic installations. And I think more questions than answers came from that meeting. So what I would like to do is I would like to request through the chair that the law department take a look at our current policy for fiber optics. It seems that a couple things have changed. There is now commingling that's allowed with electrical lines and fiber optics within the same conduit, which was never present. And also, I think the agreement between the city, RCN, and BECO at one time was exclusive use of the electrical lines for RCN. Now that doesn't seem to be the case, and I don't think any amended locations have been applied for through this commission. So I tried to get information from Eversource to see who they're renting to, but we didn't get the information. Obviously, there's a problem there. So I'd like to request a couple of things. First, I'd like the law department to look at our current policy to see if it has to be revamped. Secondly, I would like them to take a look at agreements, past agreements between RCN, BECO, and the city to see whether or not the agreements are still valid. All right, and if they are not valid, should there be new agreements with the city and RCN as one entity, and the city and Eversource as a second entity. And I think if we have those answers, I think we can, go forward. But like I said, the industry has changed from what we believe it to be, and I think that the right people should take a look at the policy. If it needs changing, we should get changing. When we look at agreements between the city and Eversource, I would also like the law department to look at the agreements that may have to be in place between the city and Verizon, because if the public utilities for both telecommunication and electrical use now by law have to rent to fiber optics, all right, then where is the city in the middle of this? The city maybe should be able to get some of that rental income because it's a city street. So, so when it looks at potential agreement between Eversource and the city, also look at Verizon.
Thank you. Chung?
Chung Liu from the Law Department. Commissioner Jumosha identified some very important issues related to our telecommunication policy. It has been the joint build policy was adopted by this board in 1994, more than 20 years ago. So, and also associated with amended to location agreement with NSTAR, aka Eversource, and to Verizon. I think it's the time to look at those policies and the practice. And first of all, I would ask the Commission's approval to have the Law Department to move forward to request information from Eversource, to Verizon, or to whoever to do the due diligence, and then I will report back, or the Law Department will report back to this board in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
John, if any documentation needs to be sent to these companies to request this information, I'm fairly certain that you can request it at the signature of the chairman of the Public Improvement Commission.
Yes. Yeah, I will draft a questionnaire or the request for information. I think the city deserves those information to commission to review, and then if it's okay, and we will just send them off.
Keeping in the context that to further what Commissioner Mosha said, there were multiple things which the city tried to do. One is to keep a level playing field.
Sure.
To minimize the digging.
Yep.
3, to recognize the fact that some of those utility companies who installed those electrical conduits,
yes,
they were installed where the expenses are partially subsidized by the ratepayers.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
so now for those conduits which were paid by the ratepayers to be used for telecommunication purposes and rented out to others, brings a rather interesting aspect to the situation.
Thank you. We'll take that into consideration.
Thank you. And thank you for mentioning, Commissioner. Yeah.
So it's okay for me to move forward?
Yes, please. Yes, please do. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
So moved.